Whoa, walked right
Welcome
off.
to
Good.
our first big crop of corn that we grew. This was like about 2 acres. First time I've ever done this much. It was a total success, very minimal waste. But we had to get into the routine of picking every single morning for the farm stand, and we weren't used to that, so we had to bring that into our morning routine. Here are the chickens over in the butternut squash field. We put them in here to eat all the ryegrass before we plow it under and then plant the butternut there. This is about a month later. Fields flipped, and we are planting butternut squash in this field, in this fill in Ashley on the transplanter. Here are the chickens over at Harrington Park, another field that we move them to. We move them every 2 weeks, so they are
Emma's first time on
eating
the
different grasses,
transplanter.
weed seed, bugs, grubs, and also fertilizing the fields. And it's really the most pristine way to raise animals. So here's Emma's first time on the transplanter, and she doesn't know it yet, but that means she's on this for life. So first time, she's doing awesome. Transplanting away. We do every other hole for these just because you need to give them good spacing. This is our watermelon crop. This one was a beast. I still can't even believe that it grew this big because we actually forgot about
What do you
this
think,
in
Nate?
the field because it was the weed pressure was so high. And then we went out to pick and we ended up getting like 4 bins worth of watermelons, which was pretty impressive. The chickens again over at Harrington Park. These are the turkeys moving around the field. We raised them in A-frames this year just because this was our second year raising them, and I still feel like they don't know when hawks are flying around, so we put them in these A-frames just so they're protected from aerial predators. But they love it. I mean, every day we move it, so they have the clover grass, the weed seed, all the bugs, grubs, worms. And then Ashley fills up the food and water every morning. This was the first time that the chickens were directly next to the turkeys, and the chickens could hear them, but they couldn't see them because of the side of the metal roof there. So they were all just like congregating around the fence line to like see what was going on over there. But yeah, they've never met before because you have to keep them separate. Some diseases can carry over, so you try to keep turkeys and chickens separate. Irrigating the butternut squash field. This was the same field that Phil and Ashley were planting earlier, and I was just checking the pressure and making sure that the spigot was moving back. This was a new project here, so this is going to be our chicken brooding area. We used to brood them in our greenhouse, but the temperature was always so variable in there, and it was really hard to keep the chicks at a perfect temperature. So we're going to do it in this container this year, which is much better shaded, and it'll be much easier to do, I think. This is the cornfield. This was 2 acres of Silver Queen corn, and the success rate with this was awesome. I'm so excited to do this. I wish we got into corn earlier, but this is actually only our second year growing corn, and I picked a variety that my grandfather grew back in the 80s. Here we are moving the meats and the turkeys again. And the big meat coop up there with the fans on. It was going to be about 90 degrees this day, so we wanted to add some extra ventilation for them because there's about 150 in that coop. We already moved them. Nate's playing in the middle of the field in that big sand pit that the goats made. So that for some reason they're attracted to that area. Picking, pickling cucumbers. These are my favorite. Nothing beats eating a pickling cucumber right out of the field, right like this. The flavor is just superior. And we got a lot. I usually only do half rows of this because our rows are 300 feet long, and that usually sustains our farm stand fine. But even just the 150-foot row of these, I think we got like 6 or 7 bushel out of this one, and you have to pick them every 4 days because you don't want them to get too big because they lose their flavor that way. So fast forward a couple months, this is the same turkeys that you just saw. You know, they're growing. We're still moving them in the A-frames, and every day we move them, and you can see all that weed material in there, and they'll peck away at all of those seed tops. So that's actually what they're eating. Watering the corn, it was pretty dry this summer, so watering was a priority, and I probably watered more this summer with this new machine setup than any other summer before this. But the corn was only a week away from being ready, so it was really a priority to keep water on it, keeping it all hydrated. And turkeys, fast forward again, I think this was September, so they were pretty much ready to be harvested. And this big guy was so funny. He was like our best friend. He would always just peek around the corner every morning. Um, but they were so much fun. And we actually kept this batch just in front of the farm stand so all the customers and kids could see them. This is Big Meat Coop. So we purchased this year.
These are all the feeders.
It's
and the
3 times the
waters.
size of our old coop, so the chickens are actually going to
they
have
got the
more
whole
room to roam around in there.
Skeleton up.
And I'm super excited for it because it's the same
Company's awesome.
exact
You can
type
just tell
of
by,
coop
like, the
that
way
we
the
were
cross-bracing
using
is. You know, more up top
before,
there,
but
going
it's just
across
bigger
up
and there's more space in there. There's more foods, there's more waterers. So we're super excited to use this year. Um, but this company is great. I mean, everything we've ever bought from them has been perfect, and it's just so effortless and is very minimal maintenance per day. So this is the end of the season. We decided to put the chickens in with the kale. So we harvested most of it, as much as we could sell out to the wholesalers. And now we just decided to give it to the chickens because we have to till it under and plant winter rye. So the chickens totally stripped this out. That's their favorite time of the year, is when they have unlimited amounts of kale, and the egg yolk quality is amazing when they're eating constant kale. And then end of the season, we top off with the Christmas trees, which was a success this year. And definitely 2025 is one of the